Hello. What they're asking you to do here is find the third term of these perfect square trinomials, okay? Find the third term, which is this one here, of these perfect square trinomials. The first thing I want you to know, or you should know already by now, is that tri means 3, okay? Tri equals 3. That's why you call a three-wheel bicycle or a three-wheel cycle a tricycle. Bi means 2. That's why you call a two-wheel cycle a bicycle. And then mono equals 1. And that's why when it's mono, when you're listening to music on in a mono format, it means that it's only coming out of one speaker, and that's why it's called mono, because mono means 1. So a trinomial is an algebraic equation that has 3 terms. A binomial is an algebraic expression that has 2 terms, and a monomial is an algebraic expression that has just 1 term. And here they're saying find the third term of these perfect square trinomials. Now, a perfect square trinomial is a trinomial that when you factor it ends up being the same number. What I mean is, like, when I factor 9, 9 is a special number because 9 has a square root. The square root is 3. In other words, to get 9, I multiply 3 times 3. Now, 3 times 3 is what gives me 9, and 3 times 3 are the factors of 9. Like I said, 9 is a special number because one of its factors is its square root, or a number that when you factor it, you multiply times itself. Another way of writing 3 times 3 is 3 squared. 3 squared equals 9. Now, I know that you're like, what are you talking about? Well, you'll understand what I mean and why I use this example. Let me give an example like it. Another special number is 4. 4 is like 9 and has a perfect square root. And what that means is that one of the factors of 4 is 2 times 2. Okay, in other words, one of the factors of 4 is a number that when you multiply times itself gives you 4. Another way of writing 2 times 2 is 2 squared. Okay, so 4 is a special number just like 9. 16 is a special number because 16, one of its factors is 4 times 4. Okay, so those are special numbers. Well, just like there's some numbers that have perfect square roots, there are trinomials that have perfect squares. In other words, when you factor it, the factor is itself twice. Now, it'll make sense in a second when I draw it for you, or when I write it for you. Let's figure this out. To find the third term of a perfect square trinomial, what do you need to do? What you need to do is multiply 6, the middle term, you multiply the middle term times 1/2. Okay. Another way of saying multiply 6 times 1/2 is 6 divided by 2. Okay. Because when you work it out, what's 6 times 1? Well, 6 times 1 is 6, and then 6 is over 1, so 1 times 2 is 2. So what you get is this, right? You get 6 over 2 in the end. So to skip that step, forget that. To skip that step, what you do is just divide by 2. Instead of going 6 over 1 times 1 over 2 equals 6 over 2, right? That takes longer. All you have to do is say just 6 over 2, right? And that gives you what? What's 6 over 2? Or what's 6 times 1/2? 3, right? Okay, so that's the first step. We half the middle term, or we multiply it by 1/2, or we divide it by 2. I just said the same thing 3 different ways. So the basically is you multiply the middle term by 1/2, and then what you get is 3, and then once you get that number, you square it, which equals 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, and that's our third term, 9. I know what you're thinking. You're like, huh? I know. You'll start to understand it once you practice it. Let's do another one. Oh, wait, let me explain this to you. So here we have the perfect square trinomial. Okay, so what that means is a squared plus 6a plus 9 equals 0. Okay, so when we factor this, look at what happens. The factor of a squared is a, right? So we're going to put our parentheses like we were doing the other page. And then the factor of 9 has two factors, 1 times 9 and 3 times 3. And the only way I could get the middle term, which is 6, is 3 and 3. So I'm going to put 3 and 3. And since they're all positive, my answer is positive. Okay. Probably should have written that bigger because it's going to look blurry on YouTube. But anyways, oh well. What I have here is 3 plus 3 and 3 plus 3 equals 0. Now you notice how they're both the same, right? Another way of writing that is a plus 3 squared equals 0. Because this is a plus 3 times a plus 3, and a plus 3 squared means that I multiply a plus 3 times itself. So this is what a perfect square trinomial is, that when you factor it, you get the same thing. The factors are the same, okay? Okay, so the first step is multiply it by 1/2, 16, the middle term, multiply it by 1/2, but to skip that step, we're just going to divide it by 2. What's 16 divided by 2? 8. What's 8 squared? 64. And that's our third term, 64. I think that's all they're asking you to do here. Just find the third term. Okay. Okay. I know you're getting nervous because it's a fraction. Don't worry. So we got b squared minus, oh wait, don't even write that. Scratch that, erase it. Okay, so you got b over 2 times 1/2. Okay, what is that? You multiply these two together, right? You multiply these two together and you get b over 4. Now what we do is we square it. So you square this one, b times b is b squared, and then you square the 4, which equals b squared over 16. That's your answer. So the answer is b squared over 16. See? Was that hard? No, it wasn't hard. Don't get scared with fractions. They're our friends.